up, guys? Today's movie that I'm going to be talking about is the latest film from the Russo Brothers. You might have heard of them. They've directed such indie darlings like Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Any of those ringing a bell? Their latest project is an Apple original exclusive, and they've gone with an adaptation of Nico Walker's novel of the same name, Cherry. The film is about a disenfranchised young man, played in this film by Tom Holland, who is also the narrator of the story, and we follow him through the many different chapters of his life, from dropping out of college to becoming an army medic in Iraq to coming home and becoming a heroin junkie with his wife, Emily, played by Ciara Bravo, to then becoming a bank robber as a means to fund his drug addiction. There was a lot of hype for this film. I mean, this is Tom Holland's first foray into grittier and uglier roles. And while I'll say that Tom Holland turns in a great performance, Cherry overall is utter garbage. Yep, those Tom Holland stat accounts are gonna come for me in that comment section, but before you get all vicious, why don't you just hear me out? Because I don't have a problem with Tom Holland in this movie. He is the best thing about this movie. He's really good. It's just the movie is bad. Cherry is honestly some of the most obnoxious, self-indulgent filmmaking I've ever seen. Ever. It's just so inconsistent and all over the place. The film is split into 5 chapters, a prologue and an epilogue, and I swear it's like each chapter was directed by a different director and edited by a different editor. There's no cohesion in style from chapter to chapter. It's frustratingly inconsistent. The Russo brothers indulge every single creative choice imaginable in this film. It's an absolute assault on the senses as you watch. They barrage you with like every stylistic choice that there is, like having hyper-focused foregrounds and super blurry backgrounds, filters that drain color out of the shots, changing aspect ratios, army drill sergeants' insults emblazoned on the screen in red font, jump cuts, long tracking shots, bird's eye view point of view shots, a shot from inside Tom Holland's colon, I shit you not, tasteless needle drops like using the song Burn Baby Burn after a bunch of soldiers die in a fiery explosion. In some chapters you are bombarded with unrelenting narration from Tom Holland, and in others, there's barely any. There's probably half a dozen more techniques that I haven't mentioned here. Those are just the ones that I took note of. If you spotted any more questionable techniques in Cherry, then do let me know in that comment section down below. Also, while you're at it, hit that thumbs up button. If you want more movie, TV, and Oscars content, don't forget to click subscribe. I tell you what, Cherry makes Michael Bay's films look like Martin Scorsese flicks. He's always been a style over substance director, Michael Bay, which he gets a lot of flack for, but at least there's some consistency in his films. With Cherry, it's like the Russo brothers just threw everything they had at the wall to see what sticks, and the end product is this confused, jumbled mess of a film. It really makes me ask, how much control did they in fact have on their Marvel films if this is what it looks like when they have full creative control? Some people might come to this film's defense and say that it's purposely messy because Cherry's life is such a disaster, but there's a difference between being intentionally messy and a film just being a mess. So much of this film clashes. The tone fluctuates from scene to scene. It wants to be taken seriously, but is undercut by breaking the fourth wall. It wants to be an action movie, a dark comedy, a romance, a war epic, a gritty heist film, as well as a serious Oscar bait character drama. It's like 6 different films, all of which were directed by different directors, and there's no one singular vision. It's also overly long. During the epilogue, I was longing for it to finish, but it just feels so exhaustively drawn out. And don't even get me started on Tom Holland's mustache in that epilogue, because I can't. And what's worst of all is that it has nothing meaningful to say about war, post-traumatic stress disorder, or addiction. It's all just surface level and shallow. There's so much squandered potential in this film. Like I said previously, the film's only saving grace is its performances. Tom Holland as the titular Cherry goes to some very dark places in this film, particularly in the latter part of the film where he's addicted to smack. It's the most visceral and intense performance I've ever seen of Tom Holland's. Ciara Bravo, who plays Emily, this is my first time watching her, but she was just as devastating as Tom Holland was, watching her go from promising young woman to desperate junkie. it was quite harrowing. The only problem was all of that character development felt rushed through. She goes from 0 to 10 in just the space of a few scenes. But what are Tom Holland's Oscar chances? I don't think he'll get a nomination for Cherry. I think it's very unlikely. Even though he gets to show off his range and versatility in this film, he's still just a rising star. This is like his first time taking on a grittier or more adult role, so I don't know. I think he needs to pay his dues a bit more before he gets his first Oscar nomination. Sorry. So let's ask them 3 questions. Firstly, would I watch this again? Good God, no. Sorry. Question 2, do I recommend it for you guys? I'm afraid it's gonna have to be a no. If you're a fan of Tom Holland and want to watch it just because he's in it, then sure, go for it. But all I'm gonna say is that he is the best thing in a really bad movie, and I'm just not sure his performance is worth enduring the lousiness of this film. So yeah, I don't recommend it for anybody, but if you want to watch it for Tom Holland, I understand. And third question, what score would I give it out of 10? Cherry is the first film of 2021 which I had a severe negative reaction to. I really, really, really didn't like it. I didn't hate it, but it didn't agree with me. The Russo brothers over-embellish every single choice, and the result is this hyper-stylized, scrambled, nauseating stinker. So I'm going to give Cherry a score of 2 out of 10. Who knows, maybe I'll be proven wrong someday. Maybe it's just a misunderstood masterpiece, or maybe it's just shit. Thanks so much for watching this vid, guys. As always, do let me know what you thought of the movie Cherry in the comment section down below. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you want more movie, TV, and Oscars related content, don't forget to click subscribe. And if you want to follow me on social media, all those links are in the video description down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Carefield, and I'll see you next time.